Hello, welcome to another edition of In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. I'm James Lott Jr., author and host. I'm an author of over 20 books, and I love talking to other authors who have something to say that's worth something to hear. And this person is one of my favorite people in the world. One of my favorite people. He's been on my other show a couple of years ago, and we hit it off, and I contacted him, and I was like, I need you back on. And it happens he has a new book out. So first, he has so many credits and accolades and awards. I can't name all of them. I'm going to name a couple of things that I think you need to know. He took the word impossible and repurposed it to I'm possible. Think about that for a second. Almost like I always say, you should go from I can't to I am. That's something that I thought of. Something that I do. I believe that. He's a motivational speaker, a coach like I am. He's a lead consultant. He has several books, but his new book is called Talk is Expensive, Communicating Effectively to Expand Your Impact, Influence, and Income. My friend, I'm so glad he's on the show, Keith I'm Possible L. Brown. How are you?
Man, I am empowered, not devoured. Listen, I am so delighted, ignited, and excited to be here with the super organizer. Man, you are the super organizer. And listen, James always does a lot.
I know everybody knows.
James does a lot. And the first thing I want to say,
I does a lot. I do.
Yeah, yes, you do. And if I may start off by saying to all of your listeners out there in the country that I'm keeping them and their families lifted during this pandemic. And I want them to understand 6 feet away is the order, but it doesn't mean that we have to have a mentality of being 6 feet under. 6 feet away does not mean 6 feet under. So yes, we should have our social distancing. Yes, we should be very careful, be very mindful of the space and not invading each other's space. But do understand that it doesn't mean 6 feet under, which means we are not doomed, that we're going to be better after this. We're going to come through this together. I'm going to name it, claim it, and frame it today. And I'm going to say, not impossible, I'm possible. And I want all of your listeners and viewers to do the same thing. Wake up every day saying, not impossible, I'm possible. As a matter of fact, James, I always say with impossible, I'm possible. So we're going to name it, claim it, and frame it. Look, we've never seen anything like the coronavirus. But guess what? The coronavirus has never seen anything like us.
Amen.
Yes.
Seriously. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I get my tea.
Yes.
Psalm 91.
Yes.
Start my day.
Absolutely.
And I start my day. And that's what I do. And it's something that, you know, the human spirit and the spirit are great things. And I agree with you completely. And that's why I try to put out content like this that's positive. That's my service.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I appreciate the work that you do, not just nationally, but globally. I appreciate you for being internationally known, nationally recognized, and locally accepted. Because it is during these times, that talk is expensive. You see, all of our lives, we've heard talk is cheap. We've heard talk is cheap. We've often heard what? Actions speak louder than words. And that's true. But always remember this. Actions may speak louder than words, but it's the words that move people to action. Actions speak louder than words, but it's the words that move people to action. For example, if our administration up there in DC would come with some more positive words, we would see more positive action in the country. The words that say, release those ventilators, the words that say, let's get more testing supplies, then we will see the action. You don't see any action without the words. So words are powerful. And guess what? At the end of the day, talk is not cheap. It's expensive. And the reason I say that because, you know, there are people who speak negative over other people's lives, whether it be parents over children, whether it be family members, whatever it is. If you're speaking negative over somebody's life as a child or a young adult, that might halt their greatness when they grow up. So that is expensive. That is very expensive because that person's gift might lie dormant because someone has spoken negative to them their entire life. And guess what? We will never get to experience the fulfillment of what that person could have brought to the universe. But on the flip side, When we speak life into each other, when we speak purpose and vision and destiny, that is expensive as well, because then you get a James Lott that's able to touch nations. Then you get a Keith L. Brown that can teach people not impossible, I'm possible. And you can get hundreds of thousands and millions of leaders where somebody spoke life into them. And now we see the manifestation of speaking life, speaking hope and vision, because they are powerful servant leaders. So talk is not cheap. Talk has never been cheap. Talk is always expensive. And the impact and the influence of positive talk will always increase your income. You understand? And that's what I'm talking about, man, in this phenomenal new book. Talk is expensive, expanding your impact, your influence, and your income. I love those three I's, especially during this time where everyone is looking to increase their income because of a loss of jobs and a loss of income. I want to encourage everybody out here. I'm talking to my clients. Before I got on with you, I was talking to some clients who are out of work. And guess what we have them doing? I have them now opening up the box to their other gifts. Opening up the box to their other gifts. They're going to be more entrepreneurs after this pandemic is over than we've ever seen. And so I'm coaching individuals right now across the country on how to tap into your gift and how to increase your impact, influence, and income. Don't depend on your 9 to 5. There is more greatness on the inside of you, and I help my clients build legacy. Talk is not cheap. Talk is expensive.
There are three things out of this I just want to mention that I love what you said. I could sit and just listen to you all afternoon. One, I remember when Regina King won the Oscar, and the first thing she said was, this is what love being poured into me looks like.
Yes.
I love what she said. She said something, it was like, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but she was like, this is what love looks like when it's poured into you. That's what she said. And I love that. And that's another thing. Two, broken men and women come from somewhere. And I think it's because, like you said, they come from childhood, teenager, where people do not pour love into them.
Absolutely.
And three, just folks, as of this recording yesterday, I did a webinar for a group called Host in Los Angeles on how to edit your life for success.
Yes.
So I did that, and basically kind of what you're talking about, I was like, okay, folks, we're not working right now as hosts, but what are some other things you can do that now you can work on? And let's get introspective for a second and look at what's going on in our lives and where we can do here. Maybe we can just do there. And I've turned some side, as you know, I've turned some side hustles into careers. So I mean,
absolutely.
Anybody, I'm a multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You can do it too. So
absolutely.
And you're right. And talk is expensive because you can talk yourself out of stuff.
Yes.
We do that all the time. And that, like you said, that could have been an opportunity that could have been great for you or somebody else, and you talked yourself out of it because of blank, and then you lost out on something. That's expensive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what was your impetus for writing this book, this subject? What was the impetus for that?
Because as a professional speaker who travels globally, I've often heard actions speak louder than words. I've often heard talk is cheap, and people minimize talk. Oh, James Lott is just another speaker. Oh, Keith L. Brown. Oh, they're just up there talking. But they don't realize that we are shaping lives. We're changing lives. You know, someone asked me, they said, Keith, what do you charge per hour? And I say, well, we don't get paid by the hour. We get paid by the value we bring to the hour.
Yes,
you cannot put
yes.
You cannot limit my worth to an hour. You cannot limit that. And someone said, well, I can't afford to have you. You can't afford not to have me. Do you understand? Because we are talking about literally transforming lives. And that's the first mechanism or the great natural resource, people. The great natural resource is people. And you and I, we change lives for the better. We change families. We build legacy. And when we change families, that helps the economy. That helps the economy when we're changing families, right? That helps crime go down. That helps healthcare. That helps healthcare. Why? Because when we are giving people peace of mind and we are helping them to shape their destiny and to pursue their purpose, guess what? There's less stress. And if there's less stress, there's less illness. If there's less stress, there's less illness. So everything we do, when we speak life, when we give purpose, when we shape destiny, we are actually improving the economy. We are actually improving the stress level going down. there's so much value that we bring. And so I had to pen this book. I had to also pen this book because I was tired of the cultural ignorance that we have for Black folk telling other Black folk that you talk like white people. Let me just put it out there and be real.
Oh my goodness.
I grew up in an era, you grew up in an era, I got tired of, and I said, you know what? I'm going to write this book because I don't want another generation to adopt the fact that because you're articulate or because you seek excellence that you talk and act white. So this is what I want to know. If talking white means I'm intelligent, what does it mean to talk Black? Listen to me.
Where's the microphone? My microphone is back there. If I could get you to drop it, I would say just drop it on the floor.
Absolutely. Because listen to me, James, listen to me carefully. If, you know, I go to thousands of schools, you know, across the country, across the world, you know, and what happens is I have my Black and brown youth, and they seek to be great, and they have high expectations of themselves, but then they're told, you talk like white people, you act white. And so if they look in the mirror at their beautiful Black and brown selves, right? And that's not the definition of excellence, then why should they be excellent? Why should they seek to go to college? Why should they want to make the honor roll? Why should they want to make the dean's list? Why is it that they should want to do well in life anyway? So what I did in this book, I said, we got to eradicate this. We got to get rid of this. No, you don't talk like white people. You're just articulate. That's simple as that. No, you're not white because you want to be excellence. We come from a people of excellence, and we have to get back to that excellence. So talk is not cheap. Talk is expensive, because even when I stand before thousands of young people and families, when they get it into their mindset that they deserve more, they will do more. So we have to stop with this old school traditional ignorance that talking like white people is a sign that, you know, we're intelligent. No, you're intelligent, I'm intelligent, we're all intelligent regardless of race. And intelligence is not an anomaly amongst one race. Period.
Everybody, thanks for our show today. I'm not, well, what can I say to that? I'm like, that, you just said it all. I'm like, no. And I'll say it, no, it's serious. So here's what's funny. There's two things that I'm glad you brought up. One is this, for any fellow speakers out there, any fellow coaches, and I know some of you guys watch my show, any fellow organizers, you brought up a good point about your experience isn't just put down to a rate that you charge. To me, I tell people all the time, when I show up to your house to organize your house, you're getting 51 years of experience of life. And education and life education that's coming to your spot to help you out. When I speak to you, I put a presentation together and it's a certain subject, but you're getting 51 years of experience coming to your conference, coming to your seminar.
Absolutely.
So the price is not, it's not based on that. It's not a 9-to-5 job. You can't really base it on that. It's based on much more. So I love what you said that. I want to empower everyone who does speaking and teaching that's your worth. That's your wealth. You have to really Number two, the black white thing, it just gets me. I've gotten more militantly Black as I gotten older, I guess. I don't know. I'm good. Because I used to say the phrase, Keith, James, I don't think of you as Black, when I was younger. And I heard this, and at first I bought into it. Oh, that means they see me, James Lott Jr. Oh, okay. You know what? Wait a minute. I am Black. But you don't see me. I started hearing the words differently as I got older. So the standard is white. And this is from Black folks who would say to me like that. Well, yeah, you're just too whitewashed, whatever. No, because I want certain things, I speak a certain way. You're reinforcing that white is right and white is right. We're doing it to ourselves. It's a systematic. Obviously, we can talk. That's a whole other story. It's a systematic generational thing that we have bought into. Also, it's like we come from kings and queens. We come from royalty. And I'm all about the village. I always talk this all the time in my coaching. I have the village that you're part of my village. You're part of my village. You respect the elders. You bring up the youth. And like we do our part. And I feel like the whole world, we're seeing that we are a village. And I feel like people are losing that. So you're right. You're right on with all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and see, James, the key is this, as I was training some young people on this morning, and they were asking me how many times a day should they use hand sanitizer. I said, well, you should use hand sanitizer many times a day. And this was a diverse group of young people of Black, white, Latino, Asian, just a diverse group of young people. I said, you should use sanitizer, you know, many times a day. If you, you know, turning doorknobs outside 6 feet away, y'all stay 6 feet away. Because I had this little jingle, you know, 6 feet away, 6 feet away. You got to stay 6 feet away, right? And so they loved the little chant that I was doing. And I said, I want you to sanitize your hands a lot, but then I want you to also sanitize your mind. See, a lot of times we're sanitizing our hands, but we're not sanitizing our minds. And many of our children and young people, they go to school to escape their home life. Let me say that they go to school to escape home. Now they are home 24/7. Now they are home. They've been home for the last couple 2.5 weeks. So now I'm saying you got to sanitize your mind. Now we got to get rid of some of those negative thoughts in our minds. We don't want to be FaceTiming. Let me tell your viewers out there, you don't want to be FaceTiming negative people. You don't want to be texting negative people or having conversations with negative people, especially when there's already a high stress level, especially when the anxiety is already at an all-time high right now in the country. You can check, and if somebody said, well, what if my family members are negative? You can check on them, and this is what you do. You know old school, James, this is what you do. When you get on the phone, listen, I didn't call to hold you long. I just want to check on you. I didn't call to hold you. I just want to check on you. And then you get off the phone. But you cannot afford to have negative thoughts in your spirit. You got to sanitize your mind. Listen, you have to sanitize yourself from these negative people. And you got to get in a place of meditation, you know, because you got people that watching Netflix all day. Like, I love Netflix too, but you can't watch Netflix all day. I'm more concerned with your net worth than I am Netflix, okay? So don't just sanitize your hands, sanitize the mind, surround yourself with positive people. And I think, James, that is very important. So once again, it goes back to that talk is expensive. Whatever we're saying right now, we are actually framing our future after this pandemic is over. What are you saying? If you're saying to yourself, I'm done, when this is over, I have nothing to go back to, guess what? You're actually framing that. But if you're saying this is an opportunity for me to create, this is an opportunity for me to work on my book, to work on my gift, to work on my entrepreneurial skills, to work on that gift that has lied dormant inside of me for years. This is a great opportunity in the midst of everything that's going on. This is a great time to create. And that's what I've been teaching my clients, the power of creating during the chaos, the power of creating.
There are two things you brought up. One, I will tell you, so one of the things that I do, let me do a little example. For you guys who are listening to this, you want to go to the YouTube channel, you can see us in person. But here's what I always do. Okay, I'm gonna let you go now. I'm glad you're doing well. I love you. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I do. I'm like, you know, and some folks, they will try you. They will try you and to bring you down and bring you in. And there's times, I mean, I've been guilty of this over the years. There's times when I have gotten sucked in sometimes. And I'm like, oh my God, man, I gotta get out. Right. I gotta extricate myself out of it. But you have to be really cautious of people who are just super negative all the time.
Yes.
It's like you have to really watch that because it can really eat at you. It really gets into your soul. And it can eat you from the inside out. And then suddenly you're whining too, and you're bitching too, and you're this too, and then nothing's good anymore. And you're like,
absolutely.
But the other thing too, I just love how you're talking to people about this thing. Because I also want to know, what are people missing? What are some of the things people are missing when it comes to this income, impact, influence? What are people missing?
They're missing the fact that speaking with excellence can take you a long way. There are times when, for example, you can actually go to an interview. I tell people you can actually go to a career interview. And if you are well-spoken and you do your research and you know, and let me throw this tip out there. Anytime, because there are going to be a lot of people during this time who are changing positions, anytime you're doing an interview and they ask you about yourself, don't talk about yourself, talk about the company. Do your research, find out the vision statement of that company, find out the mission statement, and be able to articulate that. And right there, that increases your impact because that's going to separate you from everyone else.
So let's stop right there.
Yes.
Because I've been trying to tell these young people, some of us, you know, old dinosaurs were correct. Some of the things that we were taught, the old school ways, they
Yes.
actually are working again. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
and that's funny. So when you say that,
Absolutely.
I just want to piggyback off that. That's like that. I love that.
Absolutely. So I tell people that, many times, and you and I know this, many times people will judge you by what you look like and what comes out of your mouth, right? You might not even be the most qualified candidate, but if you can speak well, you already have a leg up. So that's the power of expanding your impact, touching others' lives. Everybody from a Dr. King to a President Obama to a President Kennedy to a Mother Teresa or Gandhi. All of these people had the power of talking. Yes, they did great work, but they had the power to mobilize people and bring them together. So I just want people to understand there is power in your words. When you're sitting there in your faith-based institution, whether it be a mosque, a temple, a church, whether you're listening to a pastor or a rabbi or an imam, whomever you're listening to, you are focusing in on what he or she is saying, and then you got to take action. So what people are missing is that there's so much power in the ability to effectively communicate. James, do you know how many customer service resolutions I have had just by complimenting the customer service agent? I just want to throw that out. Anytime that I have a negative experience with a company and I get that customer service agent on the line, the first thing I do is let them know I'm not upset with you, I'm upset with the company, but I want to thank you for your professionalism. And when we are done, I would love to speak with your supervisor and give you a compliment. Guess what? It always works out in my favor.
I know. And for me, I do throw on the deeper voice sometimes.
Yes.
To help me. But here's one tip that I tell them. I'm gonna give tip 2.
Please.
So okay, so they go. You call. You have a problem. You call them. They say that, hi, I'm Marlene, and blah blah. I go, hello, Marlene. How are you?
Yes.
Just saying that changes their demeanor.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't want to do their job. Trust me, I would not want to do their job. So
right.
They're already in defense kind of. They're ready. They're like, or offense. They're ready. And so they'll come on and go, morning, how are you? I feel them and go, I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Yes. Yes.
They're shocked. It disarms them a little bit, but you get stuff done. And people always say, God, you always get stuff taken care of. I go, I work it out. And then I work with them by choosing my words carefully. I work with them through the whole process. When they ask me a question, I take the attitude out of my voice. My mother says the altitude out of my voice. And you just talk. You just give them the facts and be succinct. Just give them the facts. And then listen to them when they talk to you. Don't start screaming at them when they're trying to talk. It's like, but I want to ask you a question, because this is something that comes up, especially with the younger people, and I'm saying under 40.
Okay.
There's this whole thing about I'm being real, I'm real, and they feel like their talk, however they feel like talking, they don't choose their words carefully, but they feel like that's them being real. I see this detrimental. So I just want to know your thoughts on that. When these people would just say, "Well, I told the truth. I said it how I said it," and blah blah. I'm like, but it's still detrimental. So can you speak on that?
I agree. It's very detrimental. And what happens is many times they say, I'm keeping it real, R-E-A-L. But see, they learn that from the R-E-E-L. They learn that from television. They learn that from reality shows. And what they don't realize is they call it television because it's telling a vision it wants you to see, but it's not real. So in the meantime, you're living in the R-E-E-L, and you don't realize that you're losing in the R-E-A-L. So let James Lott and Keith L. Brown, Mr. Impossible, teach you all today that you have to humble yourself. You have to choose your words carefully. You have to be discreet. You have to be strategic, and you have to be respectful. And let me say this: I'm talking to my magnificent millennials out there when I say this, my name is not Keith. If you're coming for an interview, I'm Mr. Brown. I don't know where this has come from, right? But listen, I'm 51 years old as well, and I have college professors that I still call them by their last name.
Same here.
Right, and I'm a fully grown man, but I still address them by their last name. And guess what? The other thing is, it's called business etiquette. So unless I give you permission to call me by my first name, you call me Mr. Brown. And if you're 31, I'm gonna call you Mr. Johnson. If you're 26, I'll call you Mr. Johnson. But let me give you some training on today, because once again, that talk is expensive. You don't know that you're sitting up there calling your potential employer by his or her first name, And all they're doing is allowing you to get all your words out before they just discount you for the position. So while you're keeping it real, you're going to be real, broke, busted, and disgusted by keeping it real. So don't live in the REEL, live in the REAL, and that means respect. That means responsibility. That means accountability. That means being discreet. And overall, just understanding, keeping it real never meant that you have to be nasty and disrespectful.
Yeah, I think people disguise keeping it real for being rude. And there's no room for being rude. There's no room for being rude.
You should put that on a T-shirt. That was good. That was good. James, that was good, brother. You should really get a T-shirt with that. Keeping it real is just disguised as keeping it rude. I love, man, that's it. I love it.
I think of a few things too, sir. I think of a few things here and there.
Yes.
But no, I agree with you. And I family come from the South, so I'm always like Miss Helen, I'm always like ma'am and sir.
Absolutely.
I can't help it. It's just ingrained in me, and I feel like we should get back to that. I don't know, like you, I don't know how this changed all of a sudden. I was like, no, and to my grandkids, my one grandson got a little older. I'm gonna call you James. Like, no, you're not.
Right.
I don't know where you got that idea from, but I am not James. I'm your grandfather. I am not James.
Right.
You know,
we got to. Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of that. But for me, I'm the same way. I feel like there's just a sign of respect for somebody.
That's at the end of the day. Yeah.
There's a video that went around a couple of years ago that I loved it. It was my aunt, Dr. Mally Angelou, and some audience member at the Oprah show. I went around and she said, "First of all, I'm Dr. Angelou."
Yes.
And I was like, first of all, if I had a chance to talk to Dr. Maya Angelou, I'd be like, man, I mean everything, ma'am. I would never call her Maya. I would never call her Maya. Like never. That was a young Black woman. And some people got mad saying, well, she was being arrogant. Like, no, first of all, she earned the title. She earned everything she thought she earned. But it's a sign of she's trying to teach that younger Black woman respect. Somehow she had
absolutely.
And I have no problem with that.
And listen, we have to get back to that. When I go into schools and I'm speaking to young people, one of the first things I say is, you can call me Mr. Brown, Mr. I'm Possible, or Uncle Keith. I got thousands of kids across the country calling me Uncle Keith. And I do that because if I do that to put out that, no, you cannot call me Keith, and you shouldn't be calling your parents by their first names, disrespecting them either. And so I just believe that we have to reinforce that excellence that we had in our communities. And if that wasn't in other communities, that's fine. But especially in the African-American community, we know there was a sign of values, a sign of respect. We knew that we did not curse in front of the elders. Even as teenagers, if we were cursing, we did not even make a mistake. I don't understand even today how young people say, well, I made a mistake and I cursed in front of you. No, that's expensive. See, that once again, that talk is expensive, because what's going to happen is you're going to curse in front of the wrong person, and that's going to cause you to lose a position. That might cause you to lose a college scholarship. That might cause you to lose a career opportunity because I slipped. No, talk is expensive. If you practice speaking in excellence and with respect, then you don't have to worry about slipping or getting caught slipping. So talk is expensive.
And the problem is, people don't understand this. It's like, it is how you carry yourself. We already know when we walk into any situation, there's already perceptions being thrown at us if we're brown people, especially. It's already there.
Absolutely.
So why would you want to add on to anything, if you can help it, add anything on to put more barriers in front of you between that company or experience? Like, I want to come in and show you me, and hopefully you'll get me.
Yes.
I'm going to come in this way. And so I'm not going to add with slang or not really do my hair or wear some outfit that's kind of like, I'm going to wear what I want. I'm going to do what no, I'm going to come in, like you said, do research. I love that. Research the company, know the points of the company, know the mission statement. All that kind of, I always tell my fellow host, I was telling the other day, I go, there are two things I feel like every interview you have to just know. First of all, their name.
Yes.
Like, know their name and how to pronounce it, number one. And number two, if they have a product, know the name of the product. As long as you can ask any question on earth from there, but just know those first two things. That's all you got to do. And again, it's perception. As soon as we open our mouths, there's already judgment happening. It's already stuff happening.
Absolutely.
So why would you want to add to it? So I'm such a big component. I'm so glad you talked about this, about choosing your words wisely.
Yes.
And showing respect on all levels. I'm so sad that a lot of it is just kind of, that's old school. That's old school. No, that's school today. That's not old school.
Yes.
That is just, how life should be, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, and I love that. And even now, I see that you're engaging on social media. I'm engaging young people right now. I just want to throw out that on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on my Facebook page, Mr. I'm Possible page, at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing a show called School is Out, but Learning is In. School is out, but learning is in. And I'm inspiring young people and teachers and parents from across the country. So I'm doing that. So I encourage your viewers and listeners to follow me at Keith L. Brown, Mr. I'm Possible on Facebook, Keith L. Brown _ on Instagram. You know I love Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Keith L. Brown _ on Instagram, Keith L. Brown 1911 on Twitter, and Keith L. Brown 1911, which is my YouTube channel, where I hope people will subscribe to my YouTube channel at Keith L. Brown 1911. Man, it's just always a pleasure to be with you, man. We got to do, but listen, we have to do this more often because we have to stay aligned with those who are like-minded. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. And guess what? I'm going to continue to coach, to train, inspire, empower, and to speak. And I appreciate you so much, man. I really do.
Yes, and in all seriousness, again, you are one of my favorite people, and what you're doing is God sent, and I think,
Yes.
and God inspired, and I just think, I mean, you're an amazing person, and I'm so glad you're in my orbit and in my village. I mean, I really am. I mean, and you know, again, we haven't talked in a while, but we always pick right back up, and it's always a
Absolutely.
good Absolutely. And that's how it should be. But yes, we got to do this. We got to do this more often, of course.
Yes.
Keith L. Brown. So make sure I'll post all this stuff on our page so you can follow him and follow what he's doing. And I like that whole idea with the things, all the lives and things. So he's out there affecting change in the world, positive change in the world. And I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold, at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. The Super Organizer is everywhere also. My YouTube channel is JLJ Media. And my life coach, you can go to alottofhelp.com. That's 2 T's, not one. And everyone, please stay safe and sane.